Saturday, November. All right, we're starting on time today. We are starting on time today. All right. All right. So, I'll give Oh, no audio? No audio. Mm, mm. All right. Can you hear me now? I think there's like a short in the cable or something. Audio's good? All right. All right. All right. Well, as you can see, my voice doesn't sound like I'm trying to swallow three frogs. So obviously, I am better as far as my health. I've still got a little bit of cough going on, but I'm doing a lot better. I have worked on day two. I am currently editing it. I figured out a way to solve most of my editing issues. So I think the computer issues I've had will be a thing of the past. I got, a new microphone and everything. So I think it's going to be, I don't have to worry about matching up the audio or anything like that anymore. So I think we're good. I think we're reaching a standard point where we're going forward. We ain't got to worry about audio issues or video issues or anything like that. But yeah, the day two video is coming. It's gonna be long. I think that one's 3 hours long. And maybe at some point I'll chop them down and make them shorter. But I know most people listen to my content like it's audiobook anyway. But this time I got the video on working on this one. I wasn't gonna redo that whole other one. It took me like 6 hours just to record that thing. I was not gonna redo it. But the video is working on this one and it's matched up with my audio, so we are good. All right. But anyway, I'll just keep talking. So we definitely got to get to these questions, and um, I will definitely get all of your questions in the chat. So make sure you put question in front of your questions that you have, so that I can pull it out. I know it's been a while. Good to see you, Meat Salad, Disarray, Ray. What's up? Ristal, Two Bomber. What's up? Ryan, I see you. SKB. All right, let's get to these questions because I know what ends up happening is I talk about the questions for like an hour and then their chance. So, all right, first question. So we know ships bought on the pledge store will have warranties. Do you think they will do the same with armor and weapons? I am thinking that armor will be part of the medical insurance they mentioned. Yes, I think pretty much everything that you can get in the game will have some version of insurance as far as things you put on your character, and things that you put on your ship. So I don't know if necessarily every single thing in the game, but like things that you wear, things that you put, like things that are important to you, things that you would find in a loot box, outside of just like regular items. I think those things will all be able to have like insurance on them. And there's a lot of talk about the insurance. I'm so glad that Jarrett went on and kind of explained the insurance because a lot of people were confused about the warranty and the insurance thing. But I think he explained it pretty well. Insurance being different than a warranty, you get a warranty automatically if you purchase the ship from the store, and then the insurance is more so whether you get credits back or not. So insurance is just credits. Like you get the value of the thing, right? And I think insurance levels, if I'm not mistaken, will be at level 1 insurance, you get credits back for your ship, just the chassis. At level 2, you get credits back for the chassis and it's the chassis and the components. And then at level 3, you get credits back for the chassis, components, and decorations. And then warranty, you actually get the chassis back at level 1. You get the chassis and components back at level 2, and then you get the chassis, components, and decorations back at level 3. So they're separate, but they work together in conjunction. It's just if you only have insurance, you only get the credits back. You get the value of it plus wear and tear, or minus wear and tear. And then if you have a warranty, you get the actual chassis back instead of credits, or you get the components back, or you get the components and the direct decorations and the chassis back, right? So it's like, and I like that system. I think it's fair. They have the transferable warranties. I talk about it a lot more in my 3-hour video, so I won't go into it in detail. But if you had questions about that, that's pretty much how it works. That's the quickest you could say it. Again, folks, make sure you put question in front of your questions so that I can pull them out easy. Also, if you're not dual streaming, go ahead, dual stream. It doesn't hurt, you know. It doesn't hurt. Go ahead, do it. Do it. If you can, if you want to. All right, so let me see. Let me see what else we got. What can we expect from the Terin Medevac? All right, I'll do it for the live folks. You know, the live folks, they always get a little bit extra. So I'm gonna just kind of spoil something that I put in my video, my 3-hour video. I think the Terin Medevac is gonna have a tier 1 med bed. And I think it's going to have a tier 1 med bed because of the price that it's at. So if you look at the Terin is what, $220? So if they're going to do a variant of the Terin, the medical, if they're going to do a medical Terin, which obviously they're doing, it was very obvious. They literally showed the Terin on the MFD, and then they swept through a Terin. So my whole thing is like, we're definitely getting a Terin. I'm not really concerned about whether we actually are going to get it or not. But if you look at the price of an RSI Apollo, like the Apollo Triage is $250. And it's got like 9 med beds on it, right? Or up to like 9 med beds, I think. And then the, right? Is it 9? Or maybe I'm thinking 6. I think I may be 6. I think I'm thinking 6. I think it's 6 because you can have 6. Yeah, you can have 6 tier 3s. You can have, I think, 3 tier 2s, or you can have 2 tier 1s, or you can mix them up and stuff like that. So I think it's 6 beds. But yeah, if like why would I go and get a Terin if it only has a tier 3 bed or a tier 2 bed? Why would I get a Terin instead of just going to get like you know, a full-fledged medical ship that can do multiple beds? And you know, I could just, if I wanted a tier 1 bed, I could get 2 tier 1s in an Apollo, and that just have 2 tier 1s in my Apollo. So if you're gonna sell a ship around the price of the Terin, it kind of has to have a tier 1 bed in it. And so then you're like, well, why would I, even for $30 more, $20 more, I can still go get the Apollo. So I'm still asking, even if it has a tier 1 bed, why would I get the Terin? Well, I think the Terin is going to be extremely tough, and I think that's going to be its kind of claim to fame, is that it's a Terin and it's extremely tough, and it has a tier 1 bed in it. So I think that's kind of the reason to get it, is you want a really tough, you know, medical ship that can like go in to a very hot combat zone, pick somebody up, completely heal them, and then drop them back off and not have to worry about the ship blowing up. Whereas like the RSI Apollo, even the Medevac, I don't think will be super tough. I don't think it's going to be a super tough ship. I think it's going to be, I think it'll be tough enough. Like, I don't think it'll be like trash. But I think, you know, the triage will be like, normal toughness. The Medevac will be slightly tougher, and then if you want the super tough medical ship, you get the Terrapin, and that's kind of what I think the deal will be. Yeah, so because it wouldn't make sense for it to have a tier 3 bed because you have the C8R, so it has to at least have a tier 2 bed, and I still don't think it makes sense for it to have a tier 2 bed because why am I getting that instead of an Apollo? Because I would rather just have an Apollo. I'd pay $275 to have a tough, like slightly tough Apollo Medevac, rather than paying $220 for a tier 2 Terrapin, if that makes any sense. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's gonna be a tier 1 bed, and it'll be the only ship that has like a tier 1 bed and then nothing else. And I'm hoping it has some decent weapons on it. And then it says, that first question was from Risto. The second was from Knockfault. And this last question, this is the last member's question anyway. Non-left 96. If you had to bring your fleet down to 3 ships, what 3 ships would it be? I think I've answered this question before. I'll answer it again. But again, make sure you're putting question in front of your questions. And if you want, dual stream and helps the channel. Dual stream and helps the channel. Let's see. Where am I at? Oh, yeah. Let's go. All right, so I have a few more questions here, and then I'll get to the chat questions. I'm gonna answer that three ship question though. I'm just trying to open up the rest of the questions. All right, 3 ships right now. I'm gonna go with in-game ships because I mean, I could go on forever about ships that aren't in-game. If I had to get 3 ships right now, and they were in-game ships, ooh, I need a list. Because I don't want to say the wrong thing because this is important. In-game ships, and I can't count the Polaris yet because it's not IAE yet, so technically that's not out. Because the Polaris would be on the list, people. Let's see. In-game ships. Let's go here. All right. I'm gonna go Constellation. Do I want to do Andromeda or Taurus? I'm gonna go Taurus. I'm gonna go Connie Taurus. And then I'll go current in-game ships, not counting like future work or anything like that. I'm gonna go Connie Taurus. I'm gonna go A2. A2, Connie Taurus. What else? What else do I want? What else? I guess I need like some type of a smaller ship. I'll go. It's tough. I'll probably go FAC Lightning. So Taurus, A2, FAC Lightning. Yeah, because I need a ship that's just like pure combat for the griefers out there. And then I need... My other 2 ships are more based on utility, but it's so fun to drop bombs that, whatever. I could do 200 SEU of cargo, or I could decide to go drop some bombs. And I could do multi-crew fighting. I could get a bunch of crew in that ship, and they could all man the remote turrets, and we can just go crazy in that thing. And I think it's more fun than the Hammerhead because you're sitting in closer proximity. And I just think it's more fun to do. Yeah. And then the Connie, that's my single player, or like that's my, I'll take that one out the most, mostly to do a little bit of cargo, but also to blow stuff up with them size 5s. So there you go. All right, what else we got? Potential game loops of the A2 bomber for 1.0. Not much content on it. People say it's very niche, but I believe otherwise. They kind of laid it out at CitizenCon, right? So the A2 is no longer just going to be this like go and drop a bomb and be done with it type of ship. You're going to have to actually plan takedown shields and all this other stuff, right? I think the A2 bomber is going to be best used in places that don't have shield tech, right? So like there's no shield tech to take down, or where you already know for certain you will be able to take the shield tech down. Like if you're questioning it, I wouldn't have an A2 just on standby, but if you are certain that you can take the shield down, the A2 is going to be great for that. But don't forget the A2 can also do carpet bombing. So we all think of it as this Moab dropping machine, but it can do it can drop carpet bombs too, and that can be used for troops, or to like, let's say you got a whole bunch of people headed towards your base. You can just take that A2 out and boom, 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 and like take out half their fleet. And if they have some landed ships, same uses for the A2 bomber. I think the days of just dropping a bomb right in the middle of the city and killing everybody, I think those days are numbered. But yeah, I think the A2 bomber will have a lot of uses. I still wish you could use those bombs in space somehow, but yeah, that's just not part of the use of the ship anymore. So it is what it is. But A2 staying in my fleet, and yeah, there's some things. If you watch my video, there was some really big news at CitizenCon that they kind of just like they said it real quick, and if you weren't paying attention, you wouldn't catch it. And one of those things is your ability to buy military ships. It's not going to be as simple as everybody thought. Like I'm changing this CitizenCon has changed the entire way that I think about how to purchase ships. So yeah, it's not just going to be rep walled stuff. It's going to be blueprint walled. Like you can't get this ship unless you get a blueprint and make it. It's not going to be simply, oh, if you get enough rep, you will just get this ship or get the opportunity to buy it. It may be if you get enough rep, you get the opportunity to build it. And then if you build it, do you even have access to a fabrication hangar that can build it? And then if you have access to the fabrication hangar and you have access to the blueprint, are you at a high enough level to build it as far as your blueprinting or as far as your skills in manufacturing? Because what if it only comes at tier 2 or something? So like, yeah, it's gonna get weird real quick. But long story short, I'll say I am now of the mind that if you want certain vehicles, I won't say every vehicle, that you should purchase them outside the game to get your warranty. And I still say that with a heavy heart because I'm very anti buying stuff like that generally. But just the way now that they've laid it out and basically told us what it's going to be as far as insurance, I no longer. I mean, yeah, it'll be cheap to get it back in game even if you lose it. There's certain things I don't want to have to worry about that with. So my 5 vehicles. Well, you probably know my 3, which are the Nova, the Rock, and the X1 Force. Those are, or I'm sorry, the Ursa Medevac. And then the 4th one would be the X1 Force, and then the 5th one would be the Cyclone MT. So those are my 5 vehicles that I think are worthy of purchase. Now that they have this new SM thing, it's kind of like a better version of the Mule, from what I gather. Which is what the Mule kind of should have been, if you ask me. So that might be good too. I mean I might end up getting one. I don't know. This is like a whole new world for me, trying to figure out whether I should be buying vehicles or not. But they're not that expensive for a person like me who has spent so much money in the game. Like comparatively, they're not that expensive. But yeah, I think I will be rounding out the bottom half of my fleet much more than I had anticipated. There's certain ships that I still won't spend money on, but and certain vehicles I still won't spend money on. But I think as far as like what my base fleet will be, that has expanded, and I didn't anticipate that. You could say it's CIG kind of figuring out a way to get you to buy more ships. But if that's what it is, they did it. They pulled it off because I was very much so like I maybe got one or two left in me, and now I'm like, there's a few that I need now. All right, let's see what we got. One more question here, and then I'll get to the chat questions. What buildings do you think it will be more beneficial to have on a ship versus buildings on a ship versus in a base? Example, refinery or food manufacturing will not be able to watch. Oh, he said have fun. Okay. That the last question was from the legitimate leader, and this one is from TG Warmage. So, what I think what you're asking is it going to be better to have certain things on a ship versus in your base? I would say that question is it's kind of hard to answer because it depends on what your purpose is. Like if I'm thinking about what's in the game, right? Let's say let's just use refinery ship for an example. If I have a refinery ship, I can only process so many jobs with that refinery ship. I would rather build a base with a refinery and then also have a refinery on my ship. So like I could have multiple refineries. Now, I don't know if everybody cares that much about having multiple refineries, but there's no way I would only use my ship refinery. I can't think of a situation where I would only use the ship refinery. I would almost always put something on a base. Now, if you don't have the the requisite blueprints, or maybe you don't have the skill to build one or whatever, then I could see using your ship. But for the most part, I'm going to assume that it's better to put everything on the base. Like build it on the base and then have your ship as the backup, or have your ship as the extra. However, it depends, again, it depends on what your use case is, because if I only need to go to a place, refine something, and then leave, and I don't actually need to stay in that area, then of course it's better to have the ship. But if you're setting up a mining operation, you don't want everything dependent on whether you log in or log out. You want to be able to just, here's my base, and now anybody can come and refine things here or whatever. And like, and again, a refinery is something you can charge people to use, right? So there might be people, like if I set it up in a base, people will come and they want to refine their materials, and they can use the one at my base, and then I take a fee from whatever they're refining. Like I get 5% or whatever. I don't know what the percentage will be, but yeah. So you're cutting yourself a little bit out of the business while you're not playing if you only use the one that's on your. So I think base building is it's the frontier, right? Like that's where you want most of what you're doing to be centered around. And I think that's why they put so much effort into showing us how base building was going to work at CitizenCon, is because they're saying it is better to do it on the base. Like if I can only choose one between the ship and the base, I'm gonna do it as a base build, like build it at a base. So that's the way I see it, at least. All right, that's the last question. So let's see what we got in the chat. Do I have it up as a Wednesday stream? You know me and my choppy titles. You know, is it even a Billionaire Ninjas video if I don't start it out with the wrong title? It's I don't even think it counts as a Billionaire Ninja stream unless it's the wrong title. Like I got to get something wrong. I can't just have a stream where everything works right. Like we can't have that. All right. I fixed that. Let's see what other issues popped up. All right, let's see. What's up, Ray Gun? I see you. Oh, Ray Gun, DM me your address. I have something for you. And it's a one of one from Billionaire Ninjas. So just DM me your mailing address, and I have something for you. Um, for being, a very consistent supporter, and for being my, well, you were my second $100 member, but I have something for that person, that first person as well. But I got something for you. So yeah, DM me your mailing address. And folks, if you are not members, it is perfectly fine. I won't ever ask people to really just to be members. Like, just come and watch the videos. That's all I need. But I do need you to know that, like, if you're currently a member and you're waiting on some stuff, I got some stuff in store for you. Now that I'm done with the whole madness of trying to review every ship, I have time now, and I have some stuff coming for you. And then on top of that, I'm gonna start doing some drops for you guys, some like member only contests for you guys and stuff like that. So just so you know, if you're a member, stuff is coming. And I also owe you access to special Discord chat and everything too. So I'm working on that. I'm working on it. I was sick, and that's my excuse. That's the only thing. If you get sick, you get to be like, I didn't do it because I was under the weather. All right. What else we got? I'm on the YouTube chat right now. Let's see. All right, somebody said, no way, man. It'll have a tier 2 and the heavy armor will cover the price. If it has a tier 2, I like the Terrapin, so I would have a Terrapin regardless of whether, I don't care what it has in it, to be completely honest with you. If it has a tier 2, I'm going to buy it. If it has a tier 3, I would still buy it because I want a Terrapin in my fleet because I like the look of the ship. It's one of the very few ships that I'm buying just because I like the look of it and I like flying it. So I'm going to buy one regardless. That being said, if they want people who are not just massive fans of the Terrapin to buy it, it should have a tier 1. Based on that price, it should have a tier 1. Do you think there'll be a difference between a more unlawful bounty hunter and a lawful bounty hunter? If so, yes, there will be a lawful bounty hunter. I actually go over this in my my day 2 video. I actually go over every single job that they listed. This is what I do. This is the Billionaire Ninjas content. I obsessed over every detail while I was going through it. And I still managed to not take 7 or 8 hours to do it. But yeah, I talk about that a lot in the video. I literally go over what you can do. Like, just a quick sample of it, right? There's soldier FPS, and then there's like violent criminal FPS. One, you're working for the mercenary guild. The other, you're working for the, what is it called? The council. So they're both the exact same job. One is just lawful and one is unlawful. They do the same thing. Kill VIP, kill all, defend VIP. They all do the same stuff, except one is for the mercenary guild, so it's lawful, and one is for the council, and it's unlawful. And then, of course, the corporation that you work for changes. So bounty hunting, it depends on what type of bounty hunting are we talking about. Are we talking about capture? Are we talking about kill? Are we talking about ship? Are we talking about first person? Because they all have different levels now. They all have different job types, right? And then there's bounty hunting, could be multiple capture, right? So it depends on what we're talking about. But they did talk about it at CitizenCon. They just didn't go into depth. And this is what, us content creators are for, right? We're supposed to, dig through the details and kind of expand it out. But I talk about it in detail in my video that's coming hopefully tonight. If it does come tonight, it'll be pretty late. But either way, it's coming either tonight or tomorrow very early in the morning. So, yeah. And that'll be my day 2 video. And then I will get back to my ship review. That's my undefeated in the ship review game. So, so I have two ship reviews coming. One to talk about all the Star Lancers, and then one to talk about all the Argo things, the Argo vehicles. Let's see, and those will be out within the next 2 to 3 days, depends on how quickly I get them done. Tier 1 would be crazy, meat salad. It definitely would be crazy. But I also think, okay, when I think about scalability, right? We want medical ships at every range, right? I want I want a ship with just a tier 3 bed in it. We got that. It's the C8R. I want a ship with two tier 3s in it. We got that. It's the Cutlass Red. Okay, I want a ship with just a tier 1 in it. It would make sense for it to be the medevac. I'm just saying. The Terrapin the Terrapin medevac just makes sense. It's at the perfect price point for a tier 1. It's perfect for it. Now, I still want a ship that has just a tier 2 in it, but technically a lot of the capitals and subcapitals are going to have the tier 2 bed. You know, the Carrack has one, right? So like I feel like maybe they can say that that's kind of covered. But I would still love to see like a smaller ship. Maybe it's the one with the tier 2 bed focuses on speed rather than focusing on, you know, toughness, right? And then I would love to see a ship with 2 tier 2 beds. And then we already have one that will have 2 tier 1 beds, which is the Apollo, so we don't need that ship. So I think that they'll fill in each one of those gaps. And like and I said this in my 3-hour video, so you guys are kind of getting a sneak peek, but I think 2025 will be the year of Death of a Spaceman. I think at the next CitizenCon, we will see a lot of stuff about medical gameplay, especially considering they're finally doing a medical Terrapin, and the fact that that's one of the things they barely talked about at CitizenCon. I think we're gonna get some final details. Well, I wouldn't say final, but we'll get some. I think there'll be a huge section about Death of a Spaceman at CitizenCon 2025. Yeah, especially because one of those videos or one of those ships that was behind the blue veil, so to speak, I think is going to be the RSI Apollo. So yeah, and if we get the Apollo, I think the Apollo comes with the gameplay. It's the only major dedicated medical ship that we will have in the game. So I think that has to come with some type of advancement in medical gameplay. So yeah, I think you make CitizenCon 2025 all about Death of a Spaceman, and what else did they not talk about? A lot more about the economy and stuff, like how it'll work. I think there's a few things that they can show. I think they'll show another vertical slice of Squadron, of course. Maybe they'll show like instead of showing the prologue, they'll show, because I don't think they'll just show the same gameplay. I think what they'll do is they'll show like a random mission that's in the game or something, and it's going to show a different type of gameplay. I think they'll also talk about, I think it'll be more Star Citizen focused, and I think 2025 maybe we get the release date for 1.0, because I think they're going to keep this release date thing coming, and I think the release date for 1.0 will be, I'll say 2028, because I think they're going to push it. Well, I mean, I think they should be aiming for 2027, but I'll say 2028 is the safe bet, because I think they'll want to push that and make it as perfect as possible and do all their extra polishing. But either way, I don't particularly care, because if we get Squadron 42 in 2026, I will be playing the heck out of that. So, yeah. Let's see what else we got. Thanks for the dual stream. Appreciate it. How many people we got? 45 people watching? Holy crap. We got 15 people on Twitch too. Okay, much appreciated. Dual stream if you can. If you can't, it's all good. Let's get back to these questions. What do we got? What do we got? All right. 6 tier 3s, 4 tier 2s, 2 tier 1s. That's the Apollo. Yep, that's right. Let's see. Do you think we might get other modules in game soon? In my case, hoping to get Carrot Cargo working again. So I think they're kind of pulling away from the Carrot a little bit. I mean, it seemed like they were. It seemed like when they start working on Retaliator, I thought there was gonna be like this module like explosion where they were just gonna start talking about the modules for the Caterpillar and the modules for, but I don't think that they work like that. I think they were just working on Squadron 42 assets. I think the first thing that they're gonna work on fixing with the Carrack is its cargo ability, and the same thing with the Caterpillar. I don't think they'll work on the modules yet. I think if they do, that'll be like second half of 2025. I wouldn't expect that anytime soon. I would expect them to fix the cargo issues though in a patch soon, and making those available to use the cargo, because that's the biggest issue right now. But I don't see those modules coming anytime soon. You said Phoenix? Nah, not if I can only have 3 ships. I can't. Huckleberry said you're in the Phoenix now. I know. But that's because I have 21 ships. When you have 21 ships, the Phoenix it no longer counts as a luxury. The Phoenix is home. I just like to sit back, and then, I partake in a few of the things, you know, as long as my hand allows me to. But yeah, if you have 21 ships, the Phoenix is great. But if you have 3 ships and that's all you can get, nah, sorry, Phoenix isn't going to be one of them. Koru Zarius said 0 stealth play because I didn't have an Eclipse. When you are a ninja, let me just explain real quick. When you are a ninja, you don't need a stealth ship. You are stealth. Come closer, come closer, come closer. I am stealth. Stealth ships are a cherry on top. I am stealth. You are looking at stealth. I can disappear right now. I can disappear right now, look. Boom. I am stealth. So there you have it. That's why I don't need a stealth ship in my only 3 ships thing. I thought that was obvious, but sometimes you got to point it out. You got to let them know. Unsold on the A2 perks over the M2. It's the multi-crew capability. The A2 is not worth 750, but I talked about this in my A2 review. You shouldn't be paying 750 for it anyway. You should be paying like $400 for it. And if you can get an A2 for $400 and you can get an M2 for, let's say, $250, just get the A2. I mean, I would rather have the A2 because the M2 I think it had a place, but I think the Ironclad is going to kind of replace that place. I don't see why I wouldn't get a Caterpillar instead of an M2. Especially with the modularity that comes with the Caterpillar. I would either go all the way up to the A2 if I wanted the like full on I can fight, thing, or I would go down to a C2 if I wanted the cargo capability. The M2 is kind of in a weird space for me because I feel like you're kind of trying to get the best of both worlds, but it's not. The M2, if the M2 had one more turret, I think it might count as like a middle ground between the A2 and the C2, but it's just missing like one turret. It's like one turret away from greatness, is what I would say. Yeah, the A2 is great, but solo damage output in space is dwarfed by the Taurus. I wouldn't. I would not fly my A2 solo. The entire reason I want it is for multi-crew gameplay. I would have multiple people in my A2, multiple people. Like I want every seat filled. I want every turret filled, and I want people in. I want people inside of snub ships, inside that hangar. I want a medical. I want a medical ship in there. Like I want an Atlas in there, and I want somebody operating that to get cargo in and out, to get ships in and out, to get vehicles in and out. Like I have so many plans for the A2. You cannot use the A2 to bomb in space. You said sound is only coming in via the left audio channel? Ooh, that's an interesting. I only have my headphone on my left ear, so I didn't even notice. Oh. I was about to go and fix my audio. But I see you, Brat Pack. All right, let's see. Oh, no. No, it is messed up. Okay, hold on. Left audio. Let's see, properties. I don't. All right, how do I do this? Advanced audio properties. My Rode Wireless Pro. Ah, there we go. I didn't have the mono button clicked. So we should be good now. Let me know if we're good. I'm going to go through. I'm going to pretend we're good for now. Let's see. You said, I think it's too early to make plans based on what we received at SitCon. Yes and no. I kind of agree with you. I don't think we can make final plans based on that, but I do think we can start to shift our belief system in how we purchase ships, because if I knew warranties were going to be a thing, I definitely would have purchased other ships along the way, and I definitely would have a much wider collection of CCUs, because to me, the warranty is the thing I want. I don't particularly care about. I don't care about insurance anymore. That just gives you credits. Credits you can get I can always get credits. I want my ship. And more particularly, I want level 3 warranties, because I want my ship, I want my decorations, and I want my components. So I want to be able to kit my ship out and not be scared of taking it out and getting ganked. Like, yeah, if somebody ganks me for it, yeah, take it. Great. But I want to be able to get that back. Even if I have to wait forever to get it back, I still want to be able to get that back. Because I think the game, you have the point of realism where it's like, well, it should mean something to lose your ship. Yes, it should. But it's also a game. Like, you want people to play the game, and you want them to take their cool stuff out and show it off. You don't want people to just have everything, like, you don't want to have everybody treating it like Gollum in Lord of the Rings, and they're just like, my precious, I never take it out of the box. That's not fun to me. I don't want to own stuff just to have to invite people to my hangar to see it. Like, no, I want to be able to take my stuff out, and then if I get got for it, that's whatever. You know, it should be a negative. It'll cost me credits. It'll cost me rep. It'll cost me whatever. But I want to be able to get it back. So I do think you can start planning, but it's Star Citizen. You can never really finalize anything. Like I said, I was gonna finalize my fleet. Ha! I already heard the people laughing. I heard myself laughing. I heard my future self laughing when I said I was gonna finalize my fleet. But this is Star Citizen. What are you considering your replacements to be? I forgot what that was about. But I don't have any replacements. I don't think I'm replacing any ships. I think the only ship I've replaced so far is the Redeemer, because I think I might replace the Redeemer with the TAC, but I'm not even sure I need either one, to be completely honest with you, because the Perseus is coming. So we'll see. We'll see what that ends up being. I literally have to go through my whole fleet and see what I need now, because a lot is changing. We are all waiting for IAE. It's going to be great. Still trying to decide between the Polaris and Odyssey. Rotten Treats, what is your purpose? What are you using it for? Because those are drastically different. Like the Odyssey is going to have that mining arm, but it can't really do much with that mining arm except feed itself. So is your purpose to go further, or is your purpose to fight? Because Odyssey is all about going far and staying out and not having to return to base. The Polaris is more about offensive capability and protecting and hunting. Collected referral bonus vehicles and CCUs and CCU to what you want. That's a good idea. That's a great way to go about it, actually. Oh crap. Did I just let's see what else we got. Referral bonuses to get ground vehicles. I like that idea. I like that idea. Polaris or Perseus. If I'm choosing between the two and I can only have one, I would pick the Polaris. But I do think they're for different purposes. So why not both is always going to be my answer because I do think they're for different purposes. I've went back and forth on whether the Perseus is a defensive ship because it seems like there's kind of conflicting information coming from CIG on the Perseus. But guess who had a conversation with Gavin Rothery, the creator of the Perseus, and has two thumbs? This guy. So guess what? It is a defensive ship. It is a defensive ship, but it has offensive capabilities. Obviously, it's not only for defense, but it is going to be heavily armored, and that is going to be key to the existence of the Perseus. So, I mean, I guess you could say it's not only a defensive ship, but it's going to be the more defensive of the two when you think about their size and role. The Polaris is a bigger ship, so it's going to have capital parts, capital armor, stuff like that. So it may end up being tougher, but if you were to shrink the Polaris down percentage-wise to the same size as the Perseus would be tougher. You know, it would be tougher per capita, so to speak. So, you know, if you're asking Polaris versus Perseus, my question is, what are you going to use it for? Because the Polaris is the better offensive ship. If you're hunting capitals, subcapitals, the Perseus is actually, I would just say capitals, really. And then, but it can hunt subcapitals as well. But the Perseus is more aimed at subcapital all the way down to like medium, but it won't do great against fighters. So neither one will really do great against fighters, but the Polaris might be a little better at fighters. So Polaris is more like the top of the spectrum, like as far as what you want to fight, and then the bottom of the spectrum as far as what you want to fight. And then I think the Perseus is more like the middle of the spectrum, and that's what they cover. If I'm trying to break it down, am I from Toronto? No, I am not. I am not from Toronto. I did want to go to the Toronto Bar Citizen, but I got sick immediately, so obviously I couldn't go. I will try to catch the next one that is in Toronto, though. I'm actually from Chicago, if people wanted to know the answer to that question. The only thing that has worked for me in getting both Krakens, 2 Idris, and a Pioneer. Holy crap. Both Krakens? That's half the amount of money I spent on the game before we even get to the Idris. Whoa. I respect it, though. I have a Pioneer, though. Did you guys see the price of the Pioneer skyrocket? I am so glad that I got mine last IAE. Oh my goodness. And I wouldn't be surprised if it costs more come IAE either. Like, I was hoping it would actually hop up to 1,000, not because I wanted people to have to pay 1,000, but because I wanted it to have automatic LTI. But I think they'll do the 950 thing, because I think it's 850 right now without using real money. So if they bumped it to 850 or if they bumped it to 950 or 975, they could still kind of escape that over $1,000 LTI thing. Oh, he said sorry, one Idris. So you got both Krakens, one Idris, and a Pioneer. I love it. I love it. Let's see. You said I still find it bonkers they keep it 220. I think the way you justify the 220 is by putting that tier 1 in it, because it would be technically cheaper. It would technically be cheaper than the and they could do it at 200 or something like that. I don't think they would. I think I would just sell it at the same price, or they could even sell it at 230 if they wanted to. To be completely honest with you, people would still buy it because people love the Terrapin and people have been asking for a medical Terrapin forever. So I think it's best for them to keep it at 220. But I could see them going to 230 and people not being upset at 230. If they go to like 250 though, that would be very weird because now it's competing with the Apollo. So unless it has some crazy ass other feature that we're not expecting, I don't know. I wouldn't purchase it if it was 250. I'll tell you that. I love it, but if it was 250, I wouldn't purchase it. I would just keep the base and just leave it at that. Audio's only playing on the left side. I hope that's fixed. Let me scroll down and see if that's fixed. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Let's see. Raygun 972 is who I was talking to in that. My $100 member. I forgot there's 2 Rays, my bad. You're welcome to become a $100 member, but it's specifically for my $100 member. No, I'm just kidding. It's for Ray, not Raygun 972. Raygun 972, I know you're my first member, but you already got something special. I think I gave you something, Raygun 972. Right? Did I not? Because you were my first ever member. I think I gave you something for that. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I did. But it's Ray. Ray is the $100 member. So, yes, I meant Ray, the $100 member. Did I say Raygun? I was probably looking at Raygun's name, and I meant, yeah, it's a thing. Anyway, I am great, broke citizen. I am great. I hope your brokenness is short-lived. We invented vending. Question: what's your favorite human manufacturer and alien manufacturer? Oh, you gotta wait for the video on that one. Gotta wait for the video on that one. I don't know why the audio is still coming out of just the one ear. Because everything's right. It should be working right. I'll change that. We'll see if that does something. Let's see what else we got. Wow, we got a lot of people watching right now. Much appreciated. Especially shout out to the double streamers. But Raygun 972, if I didn't send you something for being my first member, then reach out to me and I got something for you too. We appreciate people who put in a lot of support for the channel. Like, I don't care how you do it. Like, if it might be just watching all the videos. I just don't have a metric for that, so I can't. It's hard to reward people for that. But I can tell who's like going in and like watching a lot of the content and commenting every month. Like, there's certain people that I can just see the consistency. And so those people I'm always going to try to like do things for, and you know, it's a loyalty thing. Like the more you watch, the more I try to like see how I can do stuff for you. Yeah. Okay, I think we're almost down to the bottom here. Let's see. Yeah, what's your favorite human manufacturer and alien manufacturer? I did do a top manufacturer list, but it has changed, so you can go and check that. I think Death of a Spaceman will be 2025. I think they'll talk about it. I'm not saying we'll necessarily get it in 2025, but I think it'll be a very big topic at CitizenCon 2025. So that would be the end of 2025 anyway. So we might not get it until 1.0 or whatever, but I think there's going to be a big topic at the next CitizenCon. Yeah, a lot of people not feeling the Metapin being tier 1, but we'll see. We'll see. Do we think the Vandal will come to Star Citizen since we will be near them when 4.0 hits? I don't think in 4.0, maybe 1.0. I think whenever we get the Nyx system, I think that's when we'll get our first like Vandal threat that is consistent. Because if I'm not mistaken, Nyx is the system that's on the border. I could be wrong. It could be Castra. It's one of them two. Whenever we get the one that's on the Vandal border, or I guess it's the free border. It's not technically Vandal owned, but it's the place where Vandal roam. It's like the space between two protected systems or something like that. Whenever we get that system that's on that border where the Vandal attack it, that's when I think we'll get the Vandal. I don't think we need I get what you're saying as far as releasing them close together, but I don't think that CIG is capable. Shout out to CIG for trying if they do it, but I don't think they're capable of releasing back to back. I don't think they're gonna be able to put all their effort into Squadron 42 the way they need to, and be able to like piggyback Star Citizen and make that just as good if they did it back to back. And I think they'll be able to ride the wave of actually releasing a game for 2 years. Like if you get Squadron 42 released, like in 2026, fully released, then in 2027 CitizenCon can be, half of it could be like, we're going to do episode 2 of Squadron 42, and you can announce that and say that'll be coming in 2029. And then you can do Star Citizen 1.0 and say that'll be coming in 2028. And then you have content. And then 2027, they could show a bunch of stuff for the game that's releasing the following year. That's when they can finally show like, hey, this is what it's all going to be. And then they have plenty of time, because I think they're very weary of releasing things before they're completely finished, because we saw what happened with Starfield. We saw what happened with even the Star Wars game that just came out. Like, it was finished, but it was like there wasn't much to it. So we'll see. Can't wait to get the Endeavor out of the JPEG folder. You're gonna be waiting a long time. Then again, I thought we would wait a long time for the Pioneer. So I think when we see all of the other ships' modules completed, that's when I'll start being hyped for the Endeavor, because I'll be like, they've really figured out how to do modules, and they've done them for the Carrack, they've done them for the Caterpillar, they've done them for all these ships. And once they've done all of those, that's when I'll be like, okay, the only one left is the Endeavor, so like, and then I'll get hyped for it. You said you're not stealth with that cross section? Yeah, I'm always stealth. Let's see. Oh, you said audio is good. Okay, good. I'm way behind in the chat. I'm trying to catch up. EVE Online ruined that credit style gameplay for me for ship insurance. Okay. So do they take in account for no fault, like someone hits you and your ship blows up? I don't think they care about fault. I think it's, if your ship blows up, you get it. You get the credits. I don't think they're doing like, they might work in some type of insurance fraud protection type of thing, but I don't think it'll be like you know, you had an accident and they're going out to investigate. I think it'll be like, okay, you claimed this ship 4 different times with all your stuff on it. They want to make sure that you're not claiming the ship and then giving it to someone, and then claiming the ship and then giving it to someone, so everybody has your ship. So I think that might be like, they don't want people using insurance to clone, and I think that's where they'll be a little bit more obsessing about. But again, that's what I think the dead man switch is for. And so I talk about this a lot more in that, but I think that's why they introduced the dead man switch. So if you're cloning, right? Like if I say, all right, well, I'll just claim this ship and then give you one, and now you have a fully fledged A2 with all this other stuff. Like, yeah, you can do that, but they don't have a title to that ship, so it's eventually going to get dead man switched. Now, you could say, all right, well, at least they have the components. They could break it down and then build one, but your insurance amount is probably going to be equal to what they're going to get from that anyway. So I think it's going to be much harder to like duplicate your ships and give them to your friends. The functional difference between getting your ship back and getting the equivalent price of the ship with tier 1 insurance, it's the hassle. Especially considering where you're at, right? So like, let's say I'm in a very far off system that's not close to the components, and let's say all the components aren't sold in one place. And maybe I have tier 3, tier 5 components. If I have tier 5 components, I've worked my butt off and found all the blueprints and built all of these things and got all the stuff, and now all my ships have tier 5 components. You can't just go and buy tier 5 components. You can, I think the highest they said you'll be able to buy is like tier 3. So I don't think, or I might have even been tier 2. I can't remember off the top of my head. But you can't buy the super high quality components from the store. Some of it won't be available. So it's not like you can just go and buy the components. Now you can go and buy a tier 2 component and then of course upgrade it. But like, think about the time and effort that has to be put into finding all of your tier 5 components, putting them into the ship, and making sure that they're the exact same quality, right? Because you're getting the exact same quality back. If somebody might make a tier 5 cooler, and then I might make a tier 5 cooler, and my tier 5 cooler might be way better than theirs, because my tier 5 cooler used all like super high quality parts, right? And so it's not the same even if I go and find someone who can give me a tier 5 cooler. Like I want the stuff that I put in my ship, the stuff I selected, the stuff I put time and effort into putting into my ship. I want that stuff back. So I don't want credits back. Keep your credits. Credits are easy to come by. Ship stuff will not be. Like, especially if you actually put effort into upgrading your stuff. Can I explain the F5 thing? I never use that to purchase a ship. I want a Kraken more than anything. They instantly sell out. I'll give you a little bit. I'll give you a little bit of this is what I do. All right. So essentially you have to know when the ships are going on sale. If you know when the ships are going on sale, you have to have multiple devices that are ready to purchase the ship, which would mean a desktop, a laptop, a computer, or a tablet and a phone, right? Though this is my process. I get all 4. I set them all up. I wait for the time. I make sure I have an atomic clock. I have multiple clocks that are going, so I know exactly when it goes on sale. I F5 on everything to make sure that I refresh the page exactly when it goes on sale. The first screen that it pops up on, that's the one I go to, and then that's the one where I try to purchase the ship. If possible, I like to have something else in the cart so that I can have access to the cart and put my code in for the discount stuff so that I can get a discount on it. And that's how I got my ship. That's the breakdown that I can give you. Multiple devices, making sure your time is exactly what the time is, and you gotta be fast. You gotta what did Sonic say? Gotta go fast. All right. How many Pioneers will be sold? I don't think they limit them. Do they? Oh no, they do. They do limit the Pioneer. They do limit. It is hull limited. So yeah, I don't know how many. I think like 350. If I'm not mistaken, it's either 350. It's between 300 and 400, something like that. But you don't want to base it off how many will be sold. You want to base it on how quick can you be. Pioneer hull limited, yes. Polaris over Odyssey, depending on what you're doing, I suppose. Pioneer is almost certainly going to be hull limited, yes. What's up, Buckfang? Does hull limited mean you can't upgrade it? Upgrade to it? Yes. Let's see. People already answered these questions. Odyssey might get mildly buffed. I think the Odyssey might get mildly buffed to cross roll into mining. I think it will too. This is something that I've been arguing back and forth with a few people. Like, I think the Odyssey is going to end up being better than they anticipated, but only because they have to make it better, not because they want to make it better. Because I think it was supposed to be like a small step up from the Carrack, and it was even going to be arguable of whether it was actually better than the Carrack, because the Carrack has way more fuel. It has all this modularity. It has the repair bay inside, or component repair bay inside. Has the so I think it was always going to be arguable of even whether it was a step up from the Carrack. I think it is a step up from the Carrack, but not completely a step up. I think it's more so it's a capital ship versus a subcapital or large, whatever version of word you like to use. But I think most capital ships are just going to be better than the subcapital version. And I also think it's dedicated to exploration, whereas the Carrack is not dedicated to exploration. It is just really good at it. So I always thought the Odyssey would be slightly better as far as exploration, but not necessarily the better ship. But I think it's going to end up getting like it just seems like the later a ship arrives, the better it is, because they end up having to update things to newer metrics, and they want new people to buy it. They want, when they release this new ship, it's not that just the people who wanted it 3 years ago. They want new people to buy it. They want to give new people a reason to buy it. Let's see what else we got. Meat Salad said, I can be many places at once. Yes, the way of the ninja. Double stream, double stream. Did I buy any merch at CitizenCon? I bought all the merch at CitizenCon. It's funny because I didn't plan on it. But so the first day, I actually missed out on two things. So I didn't get all the merch. I missed out on two things. I didn't get the pin set. But to be honest with you, don't really care about pins. Not really my thing. I don't particularly care about pins. And then I didn't get the CitizenCon logo blazer jacket. So there was one with the CitizenCon logo. But to be honest, I didn't really want the CitizenCon logo on my blazer. I didn't want it on my bomber jacket. Bomber jacket, not blazer. On my bomber jacket, I didn't want the CitizenCon logo on that. So I'm actually okay with the fact that I didn't get that one. I didn't miss anything that I absolutely wanted. I think I got a Pico off the website. The bomber jacket and the Pico I had to get off the website, but I got pretty much everything else. There might have been one other. Oh, I didn't get a hat, but I'm not really a big hat guy. So I'm not particularly upset. And I think it was just the basic Star Citizen hat. It was all black though. And I wouldn't really wear that hat anyway. To be completely honest with you, I probably would have just given it away if I bought it. Yeah. I got some stuff though. I got the blazer. Why do I keep saying blazer? Maybe I need to buy a blazer. I got the bomber jacket. I got the Pico. I got pretty much everything that was on the list. If you go and look at the list of things that were available, I got everything on the list except the pins and the special edition bomber jacket. And the hat. Let's see. Man, you guys are really, really saying that tier 2. I'm going tier 1. I'm sticking to my guns on it. I think it's gonna be tier 1s on it. Guns on it, tier 1s. I'm not rapping. Yeah, they might be covering a lot of materials about Death of Spaceman in 2025, but I think it will be one of the last pieces implemented. Yeah, I agree. I want them to work on stability. I think that the road to 4.0 basically has become the road to stability, because I think they know that they have to work on stability. If they're saying like they have a North Star now, and I think that's always been missing from Star Citizen, right? Like we never knew where they were heading, but now they figured it out. They know that 1.0 is going to contain A, B, C, D, all the way up through the alphabet, right? And now they can say, okay, well, what is our end goal? Well, we know our end goal for bounty hunting is this. So what are we working toward to get to that? And I think that's going to kind of focus the mind of the developers a little bit more. Now, maybe they've had that plan for 6 months now, and they've already known that this is the stuff they were going to put in 1.0. But I think now that they kind of know what game they're building, they've solidified that and expressed it to the community, I think they'll be a little bit more focused, but that could be hopeful thinking. Let's see. He said, Citizen Ninja said, double streaming for double the ninja action. I mean, it's triple because you're Citizen Ninja, so it's triple the ninja action. I mean, I want to. Oh, also, there's a thing. Like, I want to start streaming on what is it called? TikTok and Facebook. But I think with TikTok, you have to have like a certain number of like subscribers or something. Or followers or whatever they call them on there. So like if you're not on the TikTok channel, go and like the TikTok channel so that we can start streaming on the TikTok channel. Because that's such a weird thing. Like, why not just let everybody stream? That's really weird to me. And then I tried to just do it anyway. And there's like this whole thing where you have to contact this one specific person that knows how to like game the system. And I'm like, I don't want to game the system. I just want to stream on it. I don't want to stream on it that bad. I don't want to game the system. Just let me stream. Well, let me stream where I want to stream. Let's see. Yeah, I guess you're right. Alpha isn't really the time to be working on stability. But I mean, I guess when I say stability, I'm not thinking of making it completely stable, just stable enough to play. And I think that's what most people are talking about. I don't think people are saying it needs to be absolutely stable and no bugs. I think they're just saying more stable than it is. Like, stable enough to where you can finish a single game loop without crashing to desktop and stuff like that. I don't think that's a lot to ask for. No real interest in Squadron 42. I respect it. A lot of people are only interested in Star Citizen. I will say this, though. I do think Squadron 42 will be worth completing because you get citizenship. Now, I'm sure there'll be other ways to earn citizenship, but they'll probably take longer than completing Squadron 42. I would guess that they would take longer because they're going to want to push people to purchase Squadron 42. So, or even if you already own it, they're going to want to push people to play it so that they can get all that sweet, sweet data and use it for the next one. F5 refreshes your browser window. Sorry about that, folks. I my bad. I'm IT, and sometimes I was IT anyway. I was IT in my previous job, and so when I say computer terms, it's like my brain expects everybody to know what every computer term is, and that's not right. That's not the way it is, and it's not the way my brain should work. But that's just sometimes I just say things, and I'm like, yeah, just like unplug your modem and plug in your router and or whatever I'm saying, and people are just like, wait, which one is the modem and which one is the router? And then and then I'm like, oh wait, like, no, dude, talk normal, talk like a human being. So my bad. Let's see. You don't think components come above tier 3? It might be that case. So this is the thing. Like, so I talk about this in my 3-hour video, so I'm not going to get too deep into it. But I think if they're really paying attention to MMO rules, right? You have the common gear, right? Or actually, you have the like trash gear, right? And you can call trash gear whatever, but let's call it rookie gear. just to not give it like a really bad name like trash gear. So you would have your rookie gear, right, which is like your white gear. Well, we don't have to get into the colors. You can watch the video for the colors. But like you have your rookie gear, which is level 1 gear. That's the stuff that you get no matter what. Like if you open any box, you can get white gear out of it, or rookie gear out of it. Then you have your common gear, right, which is like your green gear. That's the stuff that it's almost as common as the white stuff, like the white gear, the rookie gear, but it's like you don't see it in every chest, but you don't really hold any value to it. Then you have your blue gear. Your blue gear is the first tier of like, oh, this is a little rare, but it's not so rare that you would give a crap if you lost it. It's just like, oh, okay, I got some blue gear. This is probably the stuff that you'll use the most. Then and the blue gear I would say is uncommon, right? And then above that, let's say is purple. Purple gear is the stuff everybody's looking for. That's the stuff most people are looking for. When they open a chest, they hope that there's something purple in there. That is your rare gear. We'll call that rare. And then I would say tier 5 is your epic gear. That's the stuff that if you find one of those, you're calling your friends and saying, hey, I found a freaking epic gear thing. And it mostly won't be found in chests, I would guess, unless it's a chest at the end of like, some long instanced gameplay. Or it'll be something you get for killing a boss, like doing a whatever the boss battle will be in Star Citizen. And I think that's going to be like the highest tier of stuff that you can make as well. I just don't think they went deep enough into it to really go for it. But my guess is they'll have at least those 5 levels. Going from rookie or yeah, I'll say rookie items to common items to uncommon items to rare items to epic items. Yeah, I think that's right. Did I say that right? Yeah, rare, then epic. Yeah. And then I think there will be another tier above that. And I think that is going to be the legendary item. And I think it's going to be like gold or something. And it'll be something to where you have to do like a instanced event. Like maybe there's only 4 events during the whole year where they allow you to get these legendary items. And then you get it for completing the event in a certain way. Maybe it's like whatever the version of raids will be, well, PvE raids. Maybe it's like one side, maybe they'll put people, it'll be a PvP event where there's hundreds of people on this side and hundreds of people on this side, and you got to battle, and whoever wins gets the legendary item. They could do it a lot of ways, but I think that there will be 6 total tiers when it's all said and done. If you're looking for a minor reason to add the Odyssey, just know you already know this, Lone Star. You already know this. You already know that the later a ship comes out, the better the ship looks, and the Odyssey isn't even being currently worked on right now, as far as I know. Like, I'll just go ahead and say it. I talked to a lot of the developers when I was at CitizenCon, and as far as what I was told, now they could have just been, giving me crap, and not telling me the truth because they wanted to be a surprise. But from what I heard, they are not currently working on the Odyssey right now. Let's see. What ships do I recommend people buying this IAE? I will do a ship buyer's guide. That's kind of my thing. I will definitely do a ship buyer's guide every day of IAE and say what I think people should buy versus what they shouldn't buy. So don't worry, that's coming. The biggest ship, if I was just going to give you 3 recommendations right now, I think you're going to want to get, this is just general, so I don't know if you are into this type of gameplay, get a Pioneer, because I think the Pioneer is going to be the most sought after ship, considering what they just said about base building. I would say get a Star Lancer BLD, because whatever price it comes out at, it's going to be more later down the road. And you could sell that eventually if you don't end up wanting it. And I think you'll be able to upgrade it to something and then save some money on something else, even if you don't want it. And then I think the Polaris is going to go up in price as well. So I would probably say pick up a Polaris. Now, oh, I forgot one. Get the Apollo. I would also say get the Apollo because I think the Apollo is going to go up in price as well. Which is another reason why I think the Terrapin will have a tier 1. Because I think we're going to see like a $25 increase. I think the Apollo Triage is going to jump up to $275, somewhere between $275 and $300. And I think the Apollo Medevac is going to jump up to somewhere between $300 and $325. And I think that's going to happen because it's going to come out, and I think they're going to be working on that Death of a Spaceman stuff. Well, don't get upset if you got to work on Thanksgiving. Remember, at the end of the sale, they have all the ships released again. So I think at the end of the sale, that's when all the ships are available. So you'll still be able to buy stuff. Just if you have to work during the release times of those ships, they have 3 release times for each limited ship or hull limited ship. So hopefully you can catch one of them. Are you guys trying to figure out where I'm located? I'm in New York. I didn't know that was what you guys were trying to do. I'm in New York. I thought that I already said that before. I'm in New York. Let's see. Best combat ships that would utilize LTI. The bigger the combat ship, the more LTI is relevant. I'll say that much. So if you're doing smaller combat ships, not so much. But if you got bigger combat ships, yes. Unless we're talking the F7A because you had to go get that from the event. So if you got an F7A, I would say that's worth LTI. But you probably should have LTI on that already. Unless you bought a cheap version of the F7C and upgraded. But yeah. Not the Corsair. Yeah. I had a Corsair, but it was more so just like, I know I'm not going to keep this. It was more so like, if it does become the meta, I have a buyback. I have a LTI $180. I think it was like $185 buyback. So I can get the Corsair for $185 whenever I want. So I'm not really pressed to get it. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Drake aesthetic, but I like the Drake aesthetic more than I like the Misk bridge aesthetic. So it's like, and then I think Drake makes better ships than a lot of other manufacturers. So it's weird. It's a weird love-hate relationship. All right. I think I've reached the bottom of YouTube, so now I'm going back. I'm going back to the Twitch. Also, start thinking about who we should raid, people. I'm part of this raid thing now, so like I have a list of people that I am gonna try to raid to. First time chat from Coruzarius, level 1. You get it stock, so it will come with stock components. Okay, yeah, we talked about that. Let's see. Terrapin Steel? Me Salad said Terrapin Steel. Question, what are your thoughts on the Guardian? In the ship silhouette, it seems the shape may have changed a little. I think that's a different ship. I think that's a different ship. I think the Guardian will be released before the end of the year, and I don't think that those 12 or 13 ships, however many ships, those blue silhouette ships, I don't think any of the ships from the previous year are going to be in those blue silhouettes. Because otherwise, why wouldn't they have the Legionnaire in there? Why would, like, I just feel like the Legionnaire, if the Legionnaire is not in there, why would they put the Guardian in there? So I'm thinking that the Guardian will be released either at IAE or maybe during Christmas or something like that. Um, yeah, but I don't think any of the ships from the previous year's silhouettes are in the current year's silhouettes. I don't know much about the Guardian though, so I can't really give you full thoughts on it. My guess right now is that don't particularly, I don't particularly, I'm not pressed for another heavy fighter right now. But it could be because I have an F8, and I think if you have an F8, you're not really in the market for heavy fighters that heavily. So I have to wait till that one comes out. Um, Galaxy Medical Module will have tier 1 beds. They did mention that. The mule is more useless. I don't think it's useless. So one of the things that's unique about the mule is that it can kind of turn on a dime. So I think it's going to be able to fit in. I think it's going to be able to fit in more places than the Argo FM or SM. So I think you use the mule if you're trying to get 1 or 2 SCU through like a very slim space or like in a hard to move space, or like if you have a smaller ship and you don't have that much room to move and you don't have an Atlas. But it's a very niche. It makes it much more niche now for sure. I could see only using a ship refinery as if I didn't have a lot to refine. Other than that, go back, log, need more ability to refine. Ability to refine. Oh yeah, the whole Ray thing. My bad. um, yeah, the nice part about dual streaming is when there is a commercial here, you can go watch the other one. That's what Disarray 306 said. So if you were looking for a reason to dual stream, there you have it. Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Let's see what else we got. Since the Terror. Oh wait, hold on. Did I skip something? Oh, okay. Since the Terrapin has always been considered overpriced at 220, how much do you expect the medical Terrapin to cost? I think it'll be 230. I'm hoping for 220, but 230 wouldn't be crazy. So I think 230. I think 240 is the absolute most they could charge for it. If they went to 250, I would be like, I would be weirded out by that. Have you gone through the end of Squadron 42 prologue where they give some of the 42 gameplay? Lots of spoilers, hopium if you pay attention. Like boats? Yeah, I have went through the Squadron 42 gameplay. I talk about it in my 3-hour video that's coming. Um, the Squadron 42 gameplay, it didn't do the thing to me. It wasn't like I saw it and I was like, oh my god, it has that. It was more like okay, it works, and they are actually putting some legitimate effort. And shout out to Dave Haddock for that. Like, it's not like I didn't think they were putting legitimate effort into the story. I just really needed to see something to start believing in this story. And that speech, I don't care that I've heard it before. That speech is awesome. Um, that what is his name? Admiral Bishop? Is that his name? Is he an admiral? I think his name is Bishop. I know his name is Bishop. I don't know. Ernst Bishop is his name. I don't know if he's an admiral, but yeah, that speech that he gave, incredible. I'm very much so looking forward to Squadron 42. Uh, Luca Renlund says, why do you choose the Ironclad over the Liberator? The latter must be able to carry more ships and vehicles. What's more, it belongs to Anvil, which is a good brand. Am I wrong? I specifically chose the Ironclad over the Liberator because it fit my purposes better. I also think the Ironclad is a 10 out of 10 ship. So, like, I think the Ironclad is just an excellent ship all the way around. Now, it's because of, I think it's a product of the time. So, like, the Ironclad currently, the amount of cargo it can carry and its price to performance is out of this park. It's like out of this world right now. But in the future, I don't think that will still be the same thing. I think other things will match it. But right now, getting 1,000+ cargo plus a garage plus like the ability to drive tanks on and off of it, like it's incredible to me. Every time I look at the Ironclad, I'm like, I cannot wait for this thing. Whereas the Liberator, I actually did an Ironclad versus Liberator video, so go check that out, Luca Renlund. It's on the YouTube channel. It's Ironclad versus Liberator, and I talk about it, and I say that if you want to carry vehicles and you know that's your primary thing, you get the Ironclad. If you want to carry ships and you know that's your primary thing, you get the Liberator. But if you're just like, I can only own one and I cannot own the other, then you have to figure out, well, which one, what do I want my limitations to be? Because the Ironclad can carry much more cargo, and it is meant to be a cargo ship if you're getting the base Ironclad. Whereas the Liberator can carry a lot more vehicles and ships. So what do you want? What are you trying to carry? You know, and you have to determine that before you make that purchase. But if I can only own one, I'm probably going to pick the Ironclad, but that's based on my needs. I like the Ironclad Assault. I think all you need to do is pop an Atlas on it. Now it's got a tractor beam. It has dedicated spaces for that garage, which I think is going to be really amazing. Now that we know how base building is kind of going to work, it has an item fabricator. So that means you can do one part of base building on this ship. I'm just saying, like, I think it's going to be really cool. Let's see. When CIG said starter ships will be readily available, what is a starter ship? Do advanced starters count, and does it have to be a game package? I'm going to say that they're going to tie that to game package. So if it's not something with a game package, but that being said, technically there was a Cutlass game package and certain things like that. But I would assume that that's how they would define starter ships, is things that came with a game package outside of packs, right? So like a single ship with a game package. I'm going to assume that's what it is, and I would say it's not going to include special editions. So it's going to only include things that are like constantly available for sale as one ship, one game package. I'm okay. So, you know, I tell people don't buy Alpha UEC and stuff like that, but if I was going to say that there is something you can buy off the gray market, if you're really pressed for how much these ships cost, you can always, always use PayPal and make sure you take care of, you use trusted sources and all those things, of course. But you can always get like store credit by purchasing people's ships at, $55 on the $55 ranges, right? So you get $100 worth of ship for $55. And you could do that. I don't know if that's against the terms of service for CIG, so make sure you check all that stuff out. But I've always thought, like, if I really, really, really wanted a ship, that might be something I would consider. But just know that that money doesn't count towards the amount of money you spent on Star Citizen. So if you're trying to reach some certain concierge level or something, then that's not going to be work for you. But if you're concerned about the dollar amount spent on the ship, then that might be an option for you. But just make sure you take care of yourself, because that can be dangerous and you could lose your money. So there's risk and reward there, I guess. How am I feeling about Squadron 42? A little bummed by the lack of a sense of speed. So for me, I expect the prologue of most games to be cinematic, right? So if I'm not mistaken, there was a game, an Uncharted game where you start out and like most of what you're doing is like climbing and things are falling apart and you're climbing and it's like very basic, like jump here, jump there, quick action, quick button. But it was awesome. I remember the entire time I was thinking like, this is awesome. Like the whole time and it's very simple gameplay. It's nothing crazy, but it was cinematic. And that's the feel that I get from a prologue. Like I think most single player games, when you start the game, they're introducing you to the mechanics. It's basically a tutorial. Everything's going to be a little slower, and I think maybe they should adjust that based on which level you're playing at. Like if I'm picking Legatus level, then it should be hard from the get-go, but maybe that doesn't actually apply until the prologue is over. So these are the questions I have, but at the same time, it was supposed to be a cinematic experience, so I wouldn't put too much stock in the speed of the prologue because I think that's just supposed to be cinematic. The warranties 100% do have levels. I'm not sure where you got that they don't have levels. They 100%. Insurance has levels and warranties have levels. Both have levels. I'm hoping Squadron 42 is more intro and that it picks up. Yes. Yes. I think I just said that though. It says, and you can only get higher level insurance in game. I'm not certain that that will be the final case. I think if they can sell higher insurance outside the game, they will. And it might be that it's limited in some way, but I think that insurance at some point, either LTI is going to go on sale, or the ability to add LTI to a ship is going to go on sale, or the ability to increase your insurance outside of the game. Maybe you can't increase it to LTI, but maybe you can increase it to 10-year or something like that, or 20-year, something. It won't be LTI, but it'll be like something so close to LTI that people won't really care. When CIG said, oh wait, already answered that. Let's see. Carbon Tails just said, what's up, Billionaire Ninjas? What's up? Let's see. Double streaming, much appreciated. Am I really a billionaire? How do I answer this question? I'm a billionaire in here. Does that count to you? Are you asking about the money in my wallet? I wouldn't keep $1 billion in my wallet if I, wanted to spend $1 billion. I could. Can I do it in real life? What is real life? That's how I'll answer that question. The second comment was made 10 minutes before you fixed it. Yes, I know. I'm really late on getting to chat questions. But I do try to answer everything. CIG hasn't released any Warbond CCUs under $100 since maybe the C8R's release. Double stream for the win. Much appreciated. What's up, Doba Explorer? First time chat. I see you. Why have double stream? Because double streaming is awesome. CIG never offered a hover quad Warbond CCU. Upgrading a referral makes it ungiftable. Let me see. Could anyone play on the servers today? I don't know. I didn't play today. I played on the PTU this morning. Okay. Pioneer is still 2 years away? I don't think so. I think it's 18 months away. I think That they said everything. I think what they specifically said was that everything that they were showing that was in the blue thing was 12 to 18 months. They were working on. They didn't say it would be released. They said they would be working on it for the next within the next 12 to 18 months. So I think that their goal is to get all that stuff out in a year, but they don't want people to hold them to that. So that gives them an extra 6 months to actually get the things out. So I think Pioneer 18 months from CitizenCon, I'll say 18 months from January. So I'll say mid 2027 is when we'll get the Pioneer. What do you think about a javelin within a medium org? What depends on what you say. What do you say a medium org is? Because I think it also depends on how active your player base is, right? So I don't think anybody should have a javelin unless they have at least 50 players that at any time they could play with. Now, that's my opinion. There's people I know that completely plan on playing the game solo and they have javelins. So if you're asking my opinion, I think if at any time you can log on and you can get 50 players to play with you, that's the person that should own a javelin. If you can get 25 players, that's the person that should own an Idris. If you can get 15 players, let's say 10 players, 10 players, that's the person that should own a Polaris, so on and so forth. And I think based on, you should look at how many people do you need to like seriously run the ship, and then ask yourself, how easily will you be able to log on and find that many people or get that many people to play with you based on your org and other things like how many people are you often able to get to join your party. Now, that's without talking about NPC crew. Oh, let me drop this bombshell in this chat. For the people who stayed, I talked to a developer, right? And it was very clear to me. I'm not gonna get into detail, but it was very clear to me that NPC gameplay is not coming anytime soon. It's not coming anytime soon. So there's your big reveal of the stream. NPC gameplay is not coming anytime soon, and it's for a good reason, apparently. The reason seems to be that they're still trying to figure out how to perfect multi-crew gameplay. Once they release NPC crews, that will heavily affect the amount of people that are doing multi-crew gameplay. So they want to figure out multi-crew gameplay before they release NPC crews. So if you're wondering why we haven't got at least a tier 1 of NPC crews and stuff, it's because they need data from the multi-crew gameplay. So get out there, multi-crew your ships, get as many people in, fill all those ships up with people, because the more data they get on multi-crew, the quicker that they can release our NPC crews. So there you have it. This is why I'll be going to every CitizenCon from now on. I heard so much stuff. I'm not gonna repeat the stuff that I said. If a developer told me, hey, don't tell anybody, I'm not gonna tell anybody. But if a developer was just kind of like talking about this and there were other people around, then I'm gonna be like, well, they obviously didn't think that that's something that should be private. So that stuff I don't mind talking about. But if a developer said keep it quiet, then I'm keeping that quiet. So don't expect anything like that. But it was very fun to talk to the developers, and I learned a lot about the game. I'm much more confident in the progress that CIG has made and they will continue to make after going to CitizenCon. Let's see. All right, we're almost at the end of the stream. Quadra streaming, I like that. Somebody's got two YouTube streams up and 2 Twitch streams up. TikTok is 500 followers. That's what it is. In order to stream, I have to have 500. You heard it, people. Get all your friends to to go follow the TikTok page. I didn't know it was 500. That's crazy. Go follow the TikTok page. I'll wait. Go follow the TikTok page. You know, go on. You know, open your phone up. You know, click on the buttons. All right, no, that's about it. Let's see. Yeah, I think they'll raise the price. I think they'll raise the price of things and keep it under that rule. Because I don't think they want to give LTI to the people who have the Pioneer. Because like I know if they were like, the Pioneer is now $1,000, but if you already own one and you bought one War Bond, you automatically get that. That would be great. Like if you bought one War Bond, you get it. But if you bought it credit, you keep your current insurance. So that would be interesting. Thanks Ray for dropping the link to the TikTok. Go follow the TikTok so we can get to 500. White tea. Oh, okay. Somebody dropped the WoW tiers. Much appreciated. White, green, blue, purple, gold. So which one did I add in there? I said white, green, blue, purple. I said orange instead of gold. I said orange. So I would say orange would be the epic and then gold would be the legendary. I just feel like that would be, so it might be just orange and yellow, but yeah. Not currently enough room between the base Terrapin and the Apollo to have the Terrapin medical, so the Apollo has to go up in price. Yep. What happened to my cheek? Are you talking about here? Oh, that's a long story. That's a long story. Let's see. I'll tell you what. I'll tell people the cheek story when I get to 10,000 subscribers. How about that? Because I want to save that one because it's a really interesting story. Yes, for the Guardian, I like the idea of heavy fighter with a bed in it. I do like that. I do hope it has a bed in it. I would love a heavy fighter with a bed in it. That would be a reason I would tell people to buy it. Like if it's a heavy fighter with a bed in it. Now, don't get me wrong. We have. Wait. Does that? No, that doesn't have a bed in it. Does it? I don't remember. I did review these. Like these were like 9 months ago that I reviewed them. Is there not currently a heavy fighter with a bed in it? Let me know if you can think off the top of your head a heavy fighter with a bed in it. I don't think we have one. Let's see. You said the Ironclad Assault is a flying brick designed to bring death to your doorstep. Not if I'm in a Polaris. I don't think the Ironclad Assault, okay, it is called the Ironclad Assault, but I don't think it will be particularly great at assaulting things the way, like with its weapons. I think it'll be what you bring on board that will give it the assault name. You put four Nova tanks on that thing. As soon as you land, like it'll allow you, the guns will give you cover to land. Then boom, you got 2 tanks coming off the front, hopefully at the same time. And then you got 18 people coming out of the jump seats. You got maybe, I'm hoping that you got like some Furies or something coming out of the top of that thing. Like it'll be cool. You can assault things with it. I just don't know that when you assault things with it, it will be simple. I think it's going to be based on what you bring. What's up, Ubo? Okay, Vanguard. That's the one I was trying to think of. I was like, wait a minute. I know one of these has a bed. Okay, Vanguard Warden. Vanguard Warden is the one. It might be 32 seats. It might be 32 jump seats in the in the Ironclad. It's a lot of jump seats, but like you get the point. Like it's not going to be necessarily the guns that do the assault. It's going to be what you bring that does the assault, right? Because like I would put 2 tanks. Never mind. I'm not giving you my whole plan. Well, you know what? I can give it to you because you're not going to be able to use it as well as me anyway. Because I'm going to be really amazing with it. But yeah, I'll put 2 tanks in the front, and then I would put 2 ships that can fit in the back. I'm not going to tell you which ships though. I would put 2 ships behind the 2 tanks, so I would assault with those 2 ships and the 2 tanks. 2 tanks come off the front. Those ships get out and fly. Then I have a half my crew, or well, not half. 1/3 of my crew will have heavy weapons. The 1/3 of my crew will have either sniper rifles or long range rifles, and then the other third of my crew will have short range weapons. And then boom, we're going crazy. But I would put, I know it can fit 4 Nova tanks. I would only put 2 because the other spaces for the Nova tanks, I would put ships in there when I'm doing an assault. Let's see. Going back to YouTube to finish up the stream. Let's see what we got. What do I think about the Odyssey? I did a review on it. Go check it out. I was just curious. I'm new here, not a fan for Toronto. Thought it would be cool if you were nearby. I'm in New York, close enough. I come to Toronto all the time. When are we getting your fleet vid? That just got pushed off. I was planning on doing a fleet vid after IAE, but man, I don't know how much use it'll be to you guys. I don't know how much use it'll be to you guys because I'm rethinking my whole fleet. So, do you think we're getting an upgrade like F8C to F8A? Ooh, I don't think we'll get an F8A upgrade. I don't think it'll be the same way the F7A thing went. But, you know, because CIG did the F7A thing, I think that does open up the possibility, so I won't say never. But I think the F8A is going to be... I think they said you get an F8C for completing the story along with citizenship. But I think maybe they'll upgrade that to an F8A to get more people to do it. But I think the F8A would be kind of a, like, I think that they want that to be rare. So having everybody who completes the story have one, I think is a little bit crazy. So maybe they'll keep it, they'll give you access to the blueprint for an F8A. And maybe that's the only way you get the access to the blueprint, but you can't actually build one without some like super crazy, you know, part that you can only get for getting very high rank in like the mercenary guild or something like that. That's the way I think they would do it, to where it would still be super rare, but you have to complete the story to get it. And they should make it to where it requires an F8C to upgrade it, to build it. Like you have to put, like, when you're putting in your parts for building the F8A, you have to put an F8C in there. And then that's the only way that you can build an F8A. So if you don't have an F8C, you can't build an F8A. And I think that's, again, that forces you to complete the story. Then it forces you to go and work to get the actual ability to build the thing that you want. So that's the way I think it'll work. I think that's a cool way to do it. CIG, if you're watching there, you can have that one for free. Let's see. Yeah, good point. You said the longer it takes the ship to release, the better it is. The Liberator isn't in production. That's a good point. Yeah, warranties have levels, folks. Go back and watch. Warranties have levels. Both have levels. So let me explain again. So the warranty, so insurance has to have levels because they're giving you, that insurance is about giving you the money back in credits. So insurance has to have levels because there's different levels to what you can get credits back for. So you either get credits back for your chassis, or credits back for your chassis and your components, or you get credits back for your chassis, components, and decorations. Warranty also has levels because you either get the chassis back, or you get the chassis back and the components, or you get the chassis back, the components back, and the decorations back. So that's the difference. The insurance and warranty thing is simply what you get when you actually go to make the claim. Do you get credits back, or do you get the actual thing back? If you have warranty at that level, you get the things back. If you have insurance at that level, you get the insurance back, or you get the credits back. If you have, but you have to have both to claim the insurance. So to me, it's fairly simple, because it's simply insurance is credits. When I think about it this way, insurance is credits, warranty is the actual thing that you lost. You get back credits with insurance, you get back the thing you lost with a warranty. And then there's different levels based on what you will be getting back. So you get more credits if you have tier 3. You get more of the things back you lost if you have tier 3 warranty and versus tier 3 insurance. That's the way I understood it. That's when I talked to the devs there, that's the way they explained it to me. But I suppose I still could be mistaken, but it's pretty straightforward. That seems pretty straightforward. The transferable warranty thing. Well, I go into that in the 3-hour video, so I don't want to take up the rest of the stream doing that. I want to go through the comments, but that was the gist of what I understood. You said no way Pioneer will be out by next IAE. I don't think so either. I think it'll be 18 months. So I think it'll be, I think it'll come out. I want to say 18 months, but it would be very weird to release the Pioneer at Invictus. So my thing is, it might be ready in 18 months, but they might wait until the 2027 IAE or CitizenCon to release it. So we'll see. Because it's not a military ship, so it would be weird for them to release it at Invictus. Yes, Vanguard is 2 pilots with a bed, versus the Guardian might be 1 pilot with a bed, and that's the distinction for the heavy fighter. But also, a lot of people don't like the aesthetics of the Vanguard, so it could just simply be like an aesthetics change. Like, I think Corsair, or not Corsair, Crusader, is it Crusader Guardian? Is it? No, it's Mirai. It's Mirai. Mirai has a different aesthetic than Aegis. So like, one is like clearly just pure military aesthetic, and then one is a lot more like civilian oriented. So depends on which aesthetic you like more in your heavy fighter. AI blades not coming anytime soon. Sorry, not coming. We're not getting AI blades anytime soon. And the crazy thing is, I think they have the technology already. I just think they need more data for multi-crew gameplay, because you saw what they focused on at the end of CitizenCon. It's very heavily weighing on multi-crew gameplay. And that's why we're going to be waiting a while before we get the NPC stuff, because they need data on multi-crew gameplay, and they will definitely suffer a hit to the amount of multi-crew data they get once they release AI blades and stuff like that. So I think at best, the earliest thing we would get is AI blades for turrets, because at this point they might have enough. I think that's the thing they'll have the most data on as far as multi-crew gameplay. So I think that would be the first version of it we would get. And also, we are already getting PDS. So when you got personal defense systems like that are already automatically shooting, that's one step away from putting an AI blade in a turret. So I think that would be the first version of it we would get, but I think it would be a long time in between the AI blades for turrets and AI blades for pilots and AI blades for everything else. So, any updates on the Starlancer review? Those are coming within the week. Yes, I did review all the ships. Definitely hard work. I'm trying not to call myself the hardest working man in Star Citizen, because I'm trying not to, give myself that title, but man, 370 videos in 11 months. Nobody's ever done it before. It's kind of hard not to take the title. It's kind of hard not to take the title. I mean, nobody's done it. Nobody's done it. 370 full videos. I'm not talking about 2 minutes here, a short here, a 5 minute, a 8 minute. I'm talking about 15, 20, 30 hour long videos. 370 in 11 months. It hasn't even hit 11 months, by the way. It'll hit 11 months in 2 days. So I did that before CitizenCon. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna talk my crap a little bit here, just a little bit. Let's see. Perseus, I would say the Perseus will come at Invictus. Not this coming Invictus, but the next Invictus. If it doesn't come at IAE, I think they're gonna aim for IAE, but if they miss, it'll come at Invictus. So we'll either get it at IAE 2025 or we'll get it at Invictus 2026. You were in so many shots at CitizenCon. Kept spotting you. Oh, you're in the ads on Twitch. You were in so many shots at CitizenCon. Yes, I was like all over the place at CitizenCon. So I learned a lesson at CitizenCon. So this might be the less important stuff, but I learned that I don't need to take my very, very expensive camera to CitizenCon. The quality of the content does not suffer because you don't have your super expensive camera, because you're not going to be able to capture the quality that they get from their dedicated people that are already shooting the event. So it's really hard. I had my whole setup and I still could not quite get it because everything I was trying to get was like, it was too far away, or I couldn't get the angle because I'm not allowed to get that close. So unless I was staff, it really doesn't make sense to take this really cool setup that I have. I'm better off just taking a phone. But what I will do, the reason I didn't want to focus on my phone this time is because I have an older phone. But I'm going to get a new phone. I'll probably get a new phone within the next few months, but we'll see. I might get one next September because I think the one I want comes out next September. But yeah, I'm going to get a new phone before the next CitizenCon, and then I'm going to get phone-centric recording equipment so that when I go, I can focus on using my phone to record everything rather than trying to lug around this huge camera. Ask the info runners. They saw my whole camera setup, and X came up to me and was like, "What? What is it? What is it? Like what? Why do you?" It was really interesting. I was in the Ferrister video. Oh, he must have did a video about the thing. When I say old, it's very important to understand that when I say old, my phone is a year old, and that is old to me. so it's not that old. It's just not the newest. We're past the 2 hour mark? Holy crap. This is a long one. All right, so we got to end the stream at some point. All right, let's see. Warranty won't give back your ship unless insurance is active, which means that you don't need levels for warranty. No, you do. You still need levels for warranty because you can have level 3 insurance, which gives you money back for your components and your decor But if you only have a level 1 warranty, then you only get the chassis back as an actual item. So if, let's say you have level 3 insurance and level 1 warranty. Level 1 warranty means you get the chassis back. But because you didn't have a level 3 warranty, you only get the credits back for your components and your decorations. All right. All right. All right, let's raid somebody. Ubo, do you have a quick name, or do I need to look this up? Let's see. You know what I don't something I'm supposed to be able to do is I'm supposed to go and be able to look at other people's pages so that I can go and say, "Hey, let's raid this person," but I keep getting stuck in the creator dashboard. Aha, there we go.
We got up.
All right, here we go. All right, so who do we got up? Carbon Tails, Quelsar Prime, Saber Fox, Ver9 JL. I don't know every Dad Bod Nerd. Oh, okay, yeah, I see Dad Bod Nerd. Let's raid Dad Bod Nerd.
The responses,
oh.
Yeah.
oh, we gotta pause him. Dad Bod Nerd, you're about to get raided. Did I do it right? I don't think I did it right. Isn't it R? Oh, my bad. It's not R, it's raid. Boom. There we go. 10 viewers, 14, 19. We're raiding Dadbot Nerd. Thanks, everybody. It's been a great stream. It was a long one. Let's go. Boom, 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 boom.
Hey Dark Shadows, hey everyone.